What's up, world? This is Salim with Flip for Figs, and welcome to episode 5 in my figure matchup series. Today, we have the Mandalorian in his Chrome Beskar armor. This is the deluxe version from Mandalorian Season 2 with Grogu against the Jawa and GONK droid from the original trilogy. We'll be comparing overall sculpt and details, accessories, and value for the money to see who comes out on top. Stay tuned to the end of this video to see who next week's figure matchup will be.
Flip for Figs.
When I flip, you flip, we flip.
Sculpt and detail wise, I mean, it's a cute little figure. This is it. It's a small little guy, and he's cute, and his clothes is raggedy, and you would expect, and pleather belts, which I'm hoping don't fall apart. But yeah, you can kind of remove the head. You can remove the hood, and that's how you get access to his battery compartment there. It's actually a separate piece from the rest of the robes, so you can see that right there. That's how you get access to it. I have him wired up with some fusion reactors just to keep the lights on. His gun is nice. It's hard to kind of pose him holding it like he is on the box. It keeps kind of falling out of his hand because his hands are really small, but you can kind of achieve it. And then he's got a holster here. It's a cute little figure. There's really not much to talk about. Articulation wise, you can probably get it into as many poses as you really would want a Jawa to be in. And he does look dusty and dirty like he came from, Tatooine. So I guess that's a plus. So the GONK droid is actually really cool for what it is. I mean, it's essentially just a big accessory, but you can move his legs around, get about as much. That's about as much articulation as you can get out of him. But there's some nice detail. The paintwork is really cool. All these little kind of indentations and grooves, and these like concave areas are pretty cool and whatnot. This is also definitely the closest I've ever been to a GONK droid. We saw them on screen for only a few minutes. And one of those, it was upside down and being tortured. We're making the most unusual scream for what looks like a trash can on legs. But the sculpt work here is really nice. The color is really cool, and this is really the redeeming quality of this set. I'm not mad at the GONK droid. The GONK droid comes with exactly everything it should. There shouldn't be any accessories or anything. I feel like he showed up and did exactly what he needed to do. All right, so in terms of sculpt and detail, this thing is just gorgeous. I mean, the chrome shines off of every light in my collection. And even though it's a little bit more weathered than I anticipated, and I think that was the case for most people, when they saw that we were getting a chrome version of the armor, they were a little bit disappointed that it was as weathered as it is. But for me, because I have him displayed here with all these accessories, it's literally that scene in Tatooine when his speeder bike exploded and he was in a fight with scavengers. So it makes sense that he's a little bit weathered. But I mean, what can I say? It's a Mandalorian helmet, which I love. He looks perfect. His body, the size, the proportions, everything is just phenomenal. The sculpt work on Grogu is amazing too. The detail on the outfit, the sculpt work everywhere you look. On the cape, it's wired and it has holes in it. I mean, there's nothing negative I can say about this sculpt at all. And if it wasn't enough that we get all this, you actually get a Pedro Pascal head sculpt. Now, I know a lot of people in 2025 are kind of getting tired of seeing his face, but I like the guy. He'll always be the Viper from Game of Thrones to me. And even though he kind of has a somber expression, it makes sense because anytime you see his face in The Mandalorian, he always looks serious. It's either in the prison scene or when he's bidding farewell to Grogu. And so it makes sense that he has this expression, but it's just not that versatile. You can't have him in an action pose with this face sculpt. So I know some people use this on their armor trooper figure, which is also from The Mandalorian, and that makes sense too. So, I mean, as if there was a question, Mandalorian is for sure winning sculpt and detail. But yeah, he's just fantastic. And look how cute Grogu is. All right, for accessories, this is everything you're going to get with the Jawa and GONK droid. There's not much to see. You're gonna get the Jawa, and he has 2 crossbody belts as well as a holster for this little communicator thing. And then I guess this thing is called a welder. Not really sure what that means, but it looks like kind of I don't know, some weird type of scale to me because of that little piece in the middle that can move. But yeah, and then the GONK droid just comes as is. There's no accessories for him. And these display bases are abysmal. I mean, the worst display bases I've ever seen with a Hot Toys figure. Um, you get like a black, hexagonal base underneath, which is completely plain black. It's not like it's got texture on it if you take the display kind of diorama base off of it. And it has the names of the figures, as you can see. But um, but yeah, this little thing just sits on top, as you can see, and it's made of like a thin kind of foil or plasticky material. They already knew they were giving us very little for the money they were asking you to pay, and the fact that they cheaped out with both of these display bases is just ridiculous. I mean, these are Jawas, they're scavengers, and these are all the accessories they gave us. They could have gave us like power couplings or any type of little accessory that makes it look like, okay, yeah, this Jawa is from a sandcrawler where they're hoarding a bunch of different pieces of tech and stuff. No, none of that, just these 2 little accessories. All right, now for Mando, you get a bunch of stuff in the box. I was unboxing this thing for days when I first got it. I displayed him with almost everything that he's displayed with in like the promotion pictures, and there's still a ton of accessories left behind that I feel guilty for not using, but there's just so much there. So in terms of what I actually have him displayed with, you'll see he's holding the kind of speeder bike handle with all of the stuff he was carrying on the speeder bike just kind of attached in a bunch of different ways. So you have Grogu here in the center, and he comes with a cute little pouch. You have the Boba Fett helmet. You have these 2 kind of soft, parcels or big kind of package things. And this one actually has a little magnetic component, so that way his chrome jetpack can kind of stick to it. But depending on how you have it positioned, it kind of keeps getting detached, but you can attach it if you really want to. And then you see I have his rifle there in the back. I have, let's see, I have his pistol over here locked in there. And then on the back over here, you have Boba Fett's jetpack as well. And he is wearing his cape. And yeah, everything kind of attaches to this speeder bike with these little, you just kind of thread these through the speeder bike thing. And even though it looks like cloth, it's actually sculpted. It's really nice. And then you still have extra accessories here. You have the Pedro Pascal head sculpt. You have the dark saber right here, which is really nice. You have these extra hands. You kind of have this accessory, which is firing something. I don't know exactly what these are called, but it looks really cool, and you can kind of attach those to one of his hands to make it look like it's in motion. And similarly, you could do the same with the flamethrower effect. You have a blade right there, and then you have pardon me, I don't know the names of all these different things, but needless to say, there's so many accessories.
This Beskar spear is amazing too.
And like I said, I displayed him with everything I possibly could, and we still have all of this stuff left. I mean, these accessories alone are more than what comes with an average Hot Toys figure, even a deluxe version. And then the fact that it's in conjunction with all of this is just incredible. In terms of accessories, this set is the absolute winner, bar none. Alrighty, folks, so let's talk value for the money. This Mandalorian set is a fantastic value, whether you bought it at retail or you're getting it aftermarket. And that's because there's several different versions of the Mandalorian with Grogu. There's like a standard and a deluxe version of both this one as well as the original one from season 1 of the Mandalorian. And they were released fairly close together. And so I think and a lot of people pre-ordered them. There was abundance of Mandalorian stuff on the market. And so for this figure, I actually got him brand new sealed for like $200. But even if you paid retail price, it's still a great value because you're getting the Mando in his chrome armor, which is great. you're getting also Grogu, and then you're getting all of these accessories. Now, even if you got just the standard version, it's still a great figure. But with this deluxe one, it's just an incredible value. I mean, look at all the stuff you get with him. You get his jetpack. You also get a Boba Fett jetpack, a Boba Fett helmet. You get all of these different kinds of, accessories. You get the speeder bike, or whatever it's called, the handle for the speeder bike. There's just a ton of stuff on here, and when you have it all posed on the figure, he's so heavy that he's like ready to tip over, you could see. And he comes with a bunch of different weapons and accessories. This is probably like the most full set I've ever gotten from Hot Toys. You get a ton of stuff. You get, rifles, guns, you get a pistol, you get like a flamethrower accessory, you get a grappling hook accessory, you get, a bunch of different hands. You get accessories that you don't even realize you need and probably can't even use. I mean, I'm displaying him with almost everything he comes with, and there's still a bunch of stuff in the box, as you saw in the accessories portion. So, value for the money. This is a great value, whether you're picking it up retail, aftermarket, whatever. Complete opposite situation with this set. Now, this set retailed for around $240, and even at retail price, it's not a bargain by any means. I mean, we talked during the accessories portion about how cheap the display bases were. It was really the worst I've ever seen from Hot Toys. Literally anything else, or just a standard display base. Like, don't try to make it look cool if you're not going to go all the way, because it just looks cheap. And it doesn't even sit on it properly. Like, it's hard to pick up. Yeah. Anyways, the set itself, the Jawa is a nice little figure, and it has the light up function, which you can see I have lit up here, and I'm using fusion reactors to light it up because otherwise it would be batteries. But even with it lit up, it's still not fantastic. It's not like super bright, kind of like the Jawa's eyes are in the movie, unless you have the lights off. And it's a cute little figure. And then you get the GONK droid, which is just a piece. It is a little articulated here, but nothing to write home about. I mean, it's a cool piece, and I'm glad I have it. But I ended up paying aftermarket for it. Mine was over $300 used, and that was, at the time when I bought it, which is not that long ago, that seemed like a decent price. And it was the first time ever in all my years of collecting Hot Toys, first with Marvel, now with Star Wars, it's the first time I ever unboxed a Hot Toys figure and felt like, what did I just spend my money on? I instantly had buyer's remorse. I mean, I love having the Jawa and GONK droid in my collection. Could I have done without them? Yes. Could that have $300 gone towards like the Luke Skywalker Bespin Deluxe version from a few years ago? Absolutely. So I'm, now that I have it, it's cool, but I still have buyer's remorse because value for the money just isn't here, whether you're paying retail price or aftermarket. Neither one was a great value. So value for the money, the Mandalorian takes it all day and all night. This is the way. All right, so let's talk results. This is the first sweep in my figure matchup series. I feel like every week it's kind of been a toss-up. We've had some ties, we've had some where it was really close, it was hard to kind of determine a winner. But in this case, I mean, Mandalorian just swept it. The sculpt and detail work, incredible. Accessories, bar none. Value for the money, undisputed champ. And so it's a completely clean sweep. The Mandalorian is the winner. Mando, Grogu, all of these different accessories. You kind of have a pseudo Boba Fett figure in there as well between the helmet and the jetpack. And so, yeah, I mean, I think going into it, I knew that this would be a clean sweep, but especially after reviewing the accessories again and spending a little bit more time with this figure, Mandalorian, clear winner in this week's figure matchup.
On next week's episode of Figure Matchup.
When I flip, you flip, we flip.